Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin. Alan Ruff is here alongside me. Charlie Adam is with us. And of course, Tam McManus is here. Probably the first time on the show that he hasn't paid any attention to his hair, Ruff. He's just come in and not done anything. No gel, nothing in it.
No, it's a bit of a wave there at the front going on, you know.
But I was running late today, so I never had time to do it.
Yeah. And your true colour of hair is
It's noticed that, I know.
Did you see that,
Bit of
Charlie?
yellowness in that.
Yeah.
Need a wee dye job, I think.
Oh, would you go for that? Or, yeah.
I need a wee dye job.
Are you going back to the Blofeld blonde stuff?
I need to shave the grey up outside.
Yeah, you worried about that?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, wow. I mean, Ruffy.
At least I've still got my hair, but, you know.
Yeah, but you're growing old gracefully, Ruffy. You're not caring about
No,
that
I
stuff.
don't care. No, just get there and just wash it and dry it and just that's it. None of the cosmetic stuff.
No, absolutely. If you've got a winning formula, Ruffy, you've got a winning formula.
What, for 70 years,
Simple as
Ruffy? Don't
that.
change it.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing, Tam. It's absolutely fantastic. I know you said that you really, you really liked Richard Foster, and you didn't think we were going to see Charlie again.
I didn't
but he's
know.
I'll you a tenner. Neither did I.
That's unbelievable. Well, the train's back on.
He's
The
brand-
trains are back on,
he's
but
brand new.
the viewings have gone back up since I've come back on today because they were down for the last couple of weeks.
We're delighted to have you with us, Charlie. Of course, what a hectic 24 hours you've had, because obviously, the game last night, I think a lot of people watched it. Did you enjoy it? Rangers were unbelievable.
No, it was great to be there. So that big result away from home in Germany was, 4-2 was massive, and you thought Dortmund would come out. They did do that. They had a big opportunity, hitting the post. Probably should have scored, and nervy time just before half time. But half time came at the right time for Rangers. They changed to the 5-second half, and I thought they were magnificent. I thought Kent was unplayable at times, and I think Hummels will be delighted to see the back of Morelos as well. So no, it's a great result for Rangers, but I know it was a good result for Scottish football as well going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a penalty, the first one, Ruffy.
Yeah, most definitely. As Charlie said, the damage was all done in the first half, and we were all going, that Borussia team don't look as good as everybody's talking about, but they showed a wee bit last night that they are a quality side. But Rangers again stood up to them and got a fantastic result, and great for the supporters. It's great seeing the fans, I think, celebrating like that. When you get a big result like that, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, at one point, maybe Borussia Dortmund fans who'd made the journey thought it was on the comeback when they were 2-1 up in that game. But again, Rangers just stuck to, I say they stuck to the initial game plan, but Giovanni Van Bronckhorst tweaked it every now and then to try and make sure that they were going to get back into the game.
Yeah, I thought they sat far too deep the first half. I thought they invited Borussia Dortmund on. They got up the pitch a wee bit the second half, changed the formation, as Charlie said. They got at Dortmund. Dortmund are suspect at the back. Like Hummels, as Charlie said, Morelos gave him a tanking over the two games. I mean, he looked a poor player. He's obviously won the World Cup, won the Bundesliga. He's a top player, but
yeah.
Morelos ran him ragged again last night. Kent, both those two were the key players for Rangers. I thought they gave them a wee bit of impetus going forward, and European football seems to suit them. But brilliant result for Rangers, brilliant result for Scottish football. We'll probably go into the draw a little bit later, and I think they got fortunate in the draw as well. So they'll be looking to get into the quarter-finals now, semi-finals.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that Tam makes. I think Rangers are a different team in Europe. I don't know what it is. Maybe Charlie's played in Europe a lot more than us. When they go away, they play a sort of a more composed, game. They seem to have, I think that's something. Dundee United, they're in your face. They're not getting your time. But in Europe, you seem to get enough time for the good Aribo and all that.
And that happened under Steven for the first season, where they found it difficult to break teams down. But in Europe, a lot of the teams will come and attack you. They sit in a little bit and they can counter-attack with the pace that they've got. And like I say, in Scottish football, at times they'll have it. It'll be difficult. They'll be against a 5 and a 4, and they've got to find solutions. And at times they do it, but at times they don't. And it's tough. Both firm teams are going. Like I say, Celtic going to Hibs on Sunday. It'll be a tough game away from home. They'll find a bank of 4 and maybe a bank of 5 and trying to break that down. So. No, I think, when you expect Dortmund, who we think they're a Champions League team, they're always going to come and create chances. It could have been 4-4 with the goals. Yeah. Morelos, I think, should score, but he blasts it off the back of Hummels. The chance that they have hitting the post, it was just a great game to be at, and they got the job done, and let's say a good draw.
I think we all thought, Ruffy, you and I opted for a draw, but I thought it should have been 3-2 Rangers. How they disallowed that goal, I'll never know, Charlie.
It's incredible, we keep saying about VAR and the decisions they make, but they got away with it, as in it didn't cost Rangers in the end. Yeah. So the referee was lucky that way, but it was That was good. The best bit for me was the referee was going round fist pumping everybody in the first 10-15 minutes, linesmen, referees, coaches and everything, so he had a good game as well. But no, it was a good game. You know, Dortmund are, let's say, one of the big clubs in Germany, and to come to Ibrox with the atmosphere was electric, and the Rangers, you know, controlled the game really well and done the job.
Ruffy, from a goalkeeping perspective, again, McGregor still comes up with a couple of really crucial saves.
Yeah, I mean, but I've said this on numerous occasions. All goalkeepers make good saves. The really good ones make this save that keeps your team in it or wins it for you. And again, last night he had a wonderful save at the right time, and that's the quality that he's got. And for, what is he, 40 now?
40, just turned
40. Amazing, absolutely amazing. No, and I know he does his training and all that differently now, and sometimes he's not playing in games and that. But when there's a big game comes up, he's in there.
I think Bellingham's got to get a mention, isn't he?
Yeah.
18 years of age, and I see there was one moment in the game where Schultz tried to play past him, and he just lost his head at him. You know, just wasn't good enough. The standard of what you expect from, you know, a Borussia Dortmund team was incredible, and with the comments that he came out and said was unbelievable. So he's going to be a special talent going forward. For, you know, looking come probably back to the Premier League.
I mean, he's 18. His touch was amazing.
What a player! Charlie said, 18-year-old. He plays with maturity of a 29-year-old. You know, he can do everything. He can put his foot in. He can go on the ball and play. You know, he plays little 1-2s. He's clever. He's got pace. You know, he's a top player, and you know, I can see him. You know, Dortmund are a big club, but I can see him going and playing for anybody. You know, Real Madrid's, Barcelona's. You know, come back to the Premiership, Man United's, Liverpool's. Liverpool have been heavily linked. No, Rangers couldn't afford them, no.
Yeah, okay, just testing. He could play for anyone.
Depends what his price is.
Yeah, well, we'll get that from Charlie. We've missed you, Charlie.
Much think he's worth Bellingham right now?
Eh?
Much think he's worth Bellingham?
Bearing in mind Sancho.
80.
80 million, maybe 100.
Well, somebody was hammering me all day. I said Declan Rice was more than 100 million.
Yeah.
So
God almighty, if Declan Rice is 100 million, surely Bellingham's up there. He's 18, unbelievable. But listen, it just goes to prove one little thing that you guys were talking about there, Tam. VAR.
Yeah, I mean, VAR was. I don't think they've seen the proper angle. You know, BT Sport was showing it last night. Charlie probably never seen it, but they showed 2 or 3 angles, and it wasn't conclusive to get the foul back. But there was one angle from behind.
Yes.
Where you can see, the defender actually kicking Morelos' the back of his leg.
Yeah.
But I don't think the referee seen that angle, or else he would have gave the goal.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the referee and the VAR had the technology and the angles that they had in BT Sport. So that was disappointing for Rangers, because as you said, Rangers should have won the game. You know, I think if they go 3-2 up, I think that's the game finished and they see the game out. But end of the day, they won 6-4 in aggregate. I thought the 2 games were brilliant to watch as well.
Yeah, they were good. And
Great games.
First leg, I thought, you know, Rangers magnificent. We didn't suffer anybody suggesting that it was a below par Borussia Dortmund.
No.
It was a great performance, and last night equally so. Of course, Ryan Jack, one of the standouts for Rangers over the last few weeks. He's just absolutely delighted with the result, as you would expect, and keen to repay the faith that Rangers showed in him when he was injured.
Throughout the whole process, the club have been tremendous with me. They've been there for supporting me through everything that I've been through, my operations, my bad news, my good news. They've been to appointments up and down the country with me, so the club have stood by me, and now it's my chance to repay that and work as hard as I can off the pitch and training every day to improve, and hopefully I can take that into my performances, and from now to the end of the season, just give it all and see where it takes me.
Do you like him, Charlie?
Yeah, I think he's. You know, I'd like to have seen him playing for Scotland in the Euros in the summer, but unfortunately through injury, it never happened for him. So no, I think he's done really well at Rangers under the previous manager, and now he's just starting to find his feet again. So hopefully he can stay fit for now to the end of the season, because he'll play a big part in Rangers, you know, in Europe and trying to win the league.
Yeah, well, obviously the focus of attention, we're going to talk about the draw in a moment, but one of the things that came out from today's press conference, no Ramsey last night. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst says he's on the grass and he's going to be monitored. Whether that means he's going to kick a ball at the weekend or not, who knows. But again, when you're going through against Borussia Dortmund without a Ramsey, all of that becomes insignificant.
Yeah, I think the pressure's off a little bit on Rangers getting through last night, but Rangers supporters want to see him on the park. I think he's only played one game, 80 minutes or something against Annan. That's not why he was brought into the club. He was brought into the club for games like last night, and games like the Old Firm game coming up. So he's obviously had a lot of injury problems at Juventus. That's why Rangers got him. They'll be looking to get him on the pitch as soon as possible. But does it get into the team? Does it get into the team now? If Rangers play the way they played last night, going forward, then he's not going to get in the team. So we just have to wait and see, but you want to see him fit and involved.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the draw? Let's have a look at what happened at the UEFA headquarters. There it is. Rangers against Red Star Belgrade. Elsewhere, it's Braga Monaco, Porto Lyon, Atalanta against Leverkusen, Seville West Ham, Barcelona Galatasaray, RB Leipzig against Spartak Moscow, and Betis against Eintracht Frankfurt. So when you look at that, Charlie, I think a lot of Rangers fans will be thinking, real chance. When you put out a team of the calibre of Borussia Dortmund, you start to think, well, are Red Star Belgrade any better?
Yeah, no, at one point, I think Dortmund would probably be favourites for the tournament. So to knock them out and then end up with Red Star will be, they'll be delighted with that, but it's a tough place to go, Belgrade. We've been there before, qualifying for the Champions League, so it will be a tough match for Rangers, but some tasty ties there. I think that Porto Lyon game's going to be a good one as well, and a great tie for West Ham. An English club, Sevilla. I was hoping that Rangers would draw West Ham, but no. Hopefully they can meet in the next round.
Yeah. Do you fancy Rangers to go even further in this tournament?
I do. I think they'll get through this tie and see where the next tie takes you. If they perform like they did in over two legs last night in the previous one, I don't see them getting beat from Red Star.
Yeah, that's a positive noise. I think a lot of Rangers fans will be delighted to hear. Thank you to so many people talking about it as far as the overall performance. Ruffy, the other little caveat to this is it's Red Star Belgrade and they're one of the countries, Serbia, that could affect Scotland's coefficient placing. So if Rangers could knock them out, that would be massive. We always want to see, for the next 2 or 3 years, Celtic or Rangers getting automatically into the group stages of the Champions League.
Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday. It's quite ironic. That's the team that gets thrown up there. The team that could stop one of our two teams getting right into the group stage. So, I'm sure Rangers will not be thinking about that. They'll be just getting out there and trying to get to the next round. But it will be significant if they can beat them.
Yeah, okay. From the highs of Ibrox, where it was absolutely bouncing, I did notice one thing that I thought I'd mention quickly. The back cam. Right across the top tier. It was a great camera move, wasn't it?
That was brilliant. That's actually the first time I've seen that. First time that camera's been there, and it showed you the top deck of the main stand, and it showed you right across all the Rangers fans. It was tremendous. The atmosphere, obviously Charlie was at the game. The atmosphere looked as if it was crackling, and when Rangers fans are behind a team like that, it's a very difficult place to get a result, Ibrox.
Yeah, I know all the team, Grant and all the guys at Sunset and Vine and BT Sport were raving about this. You want everything that can make it a real event on the television, Ruffy, and that certainly enhanced it.
Yeah, it certainly did. I thought the supporters really made it, but that was just to be icing on the cake to make it that kind of night, because these European nights are special. They're special when you're at a team, supporting a team like Rangers and Celtic. They're the kind of nights that you want to savour and say you've been there. And I was there that night.
Yeah, the one downside, Ruffy, is if you were actually on the top deck and you didn't want anybody to know you were at the game. No luck, here comes the back cam. Quick, get down. Anyway, it was a great result for Rangers, well done. In contrast, Bodo Glimt 2, Celtic 0. Ruffy, when I saw the team, I thought, he's given up the ghost.
Yeah, we said that when the team came out when we were on air, and that was the immediate reaction for us, that he obviously sees, bigger fish to fry. And but I've said it all along, he's getting away with it now. I know what he's done since he's went in there. He's rejigged the whole team, brought in 16 new players, sitting top of the league, beating Rangers. But there's only a limited time where you can get away with things like this, because European football is what Celtic are all about. The traditions there of playing at the Champions League, not getting toughed out of this competition. So I think he has to rejig, the European thought of how he's going to play. It's okay saying plan B, plan A, plan A, plan A, but that's not the first time this has happened. It happened in Real Betis as well, and it's happened in another couple of games, but he's getting away with it because of what he's done since he went to the club.
Yeah, well, under normal circumstances, Ruffy, I'd be 100% behind you on this. I'm going to slightly play the devil's advocate on it. Okay, Celtic fans, do they want to see them? They're out of the Champions League this year. They went out of the Europa League, and now they're in this Conference League where they went out of it. But do you have to cut Ange Postecoglou some slack on the basis that he's now hit the front in the title race? The title is massive this season, and he clearly picked a side geared towards making sure they're at their full strength for the game against Hibs on Sunday. So I think he's looked and said, no, I'm going to sacrifice the European thing. This is all about the league.
It'll only work if they beat Hibs on Sunday. You know, if they don't beat Hibs on Sunday, there'll be serious questions getting asked of why he gave up the ghost last night. And that, because as you said, when that team came out, every Celtic fan must have thought, we've chucked it. We're not interested in this competition. Yeah. We're looking ahead to Celtic on Sunday, Hibs on Sunday. If he goes and gets a result on Sunday against Hibs, then people will say it was the right decision. No resting players. There was no guarantee, even if Celtic played their strongest team last night, would they get a result? Probably not. I thought they were a better side than Celtic over the two legs. So, you know, the thing for me is, will Celtic start running out of legs? You know, and I'm seeing signs of it over the last couple of games. Or they're running out of legs a wee bit. They play at such a high tempo. I'm sure they train at that tempo as well. Have they got the legs? Have they got the stamina and the staying power in that squad to maintain that for now to the end of the season? There's signs that they're maybe just flagging a little bit in the last few games.
Yeah, so you think this could be Sunday and then beyond where they come a cropper?
Possibly. I think for the sake of the league campaign, I think it was good that they went out last night. I don't think Celtic have got the strength and depth of Rangers have got to go and play Thursday, Sunday. I think now Rangers are going to be playing Thursday, Sunday. Celtic have got opportunity on a Saturday to win a game and to go maybe 6 points clear and put the pressure on the Rangers. So Celtic fans, I don't think will be that bothered about last night if they beat Hibs on Sunday.
Do you agree with that, Charlie?
I don't know. I think if I'm a Celtic supporter, I'd be disappointed. You pay good money to go and travel away and watch your team. Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 goals. But you're a Celtic Football Club, you should be looking to try and improve and get into the next round. You know, the Bodo Glimt are a good side. You know, over 2 legs, they deserve to get beat. But you've got to have a go, even though you're 2-1. You know, 2 goals behind, you still got to go and have a go. Sunday takes care of itself. If you can't get up for, you know, to play Hibs on Sunday at 12 o'clock, then it's difficult to be a Celtic player. So no, I think it's not right. If I was a Celtic fan travelling all the way, spending the money there, I'd be disappointed in the team that was picked. But that's why Ange is the manager, and he has got a choice that he wants to make, and he's done that. So it's not just about Sunday. I think if they go and win the league and progress the next few months, then it'll be worth it. But no, if I was a Celtic supporter, I'd be unhappy for what the expense of what they'd have to put out of that.
Well, it's interesting on this one. I think we're all going to agree to disagree, because obviously he said, Ange Postecoglou said, disappointing night. We didn't deserve to go through. Bodo deserved to win the tie. Over the 2 games, we've lacked a little bit of the intensity we need to bring to these games. In a sense, Robbie, and this is only my personal opinion on it, I thought it was a kind of a... I mean, while I can be unhappy with certain aspects of the way the team played, I thought it was a kind of I'm not saying fake anger about it all, but just one of these bog standard, at the end of the press conference, say the things that people want to hear about it, because I do think 30 to 40 million pounds, Celtic realise the enormity of a man who's just in the door and has suddenly put them in the box seat in a battle with a Rangers side that I expect to go through the gears. So I think we are about to witness in the next 3 or 4 weeks a real tit for tat. Rangers were inept against Celtic, got battered. Charlie's mentioned the transformation in them, and I'm looking now and I'm seeing Celtic saying, well, listen, the Thursday Sunday thing's not on the cards, get that out of the road, let's do a bog standard. Oh, it's disappointing, we're out. Now it's game on, because Rangers will go through the gears. We've got a real good title race on our hands.
Yeah, we have, and Tom's correct in everything he's saying. You know, if that's what he's thinking, you know, he's admitting that he hasn't got the players to play twice a week. That's fair enough. You know, and if at the end of the day it turns out they do win the league and they do win at the weekend, the fans will be more than happy the way he's doing things. I just think, you know, that a lot of the supporters are buying into what he's doing, and they're buying into it because he's got the big ones right. But in the long term, you know, you can't keep getting beat like that all the time. You know, we saw it with Brendan Rodgers. I mean, we were there that night. Barcelona 7-0, Paris Saint-Germain 7, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, and then throwing out press conferences and saying things. But you've got to have a plan B. You've got to have another way of playing.
I think it's understandable that Celtic rested a lot of the players last night when they're coming up against a real proper European powerhouse on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the end of the real kind of a serious chat there. Brilliant, Tam. I love you for that. Although people are not letting you off it. Absolute rubbish, Tam, says Alec Hutchison. The Gers will get stronger and we are coming. It's as simple as that, says Alec. And we always like to read out as many of them as we possibly can. But this is the joy of at least we've got a real battle as far as the two guys at the top. There's uncertainty at the bottom as well. The game on, and Charlie will chat to you about this as well. And of course, you know, there's new managers in there trying to make an impression. We'll be talking about the Scottish Premiership fixture shortly. We'll stay on the European front on a political decision, really, which is roughly the 2022 Champions League final has been moved from St. Petersburg to Paris. No surprise, we thought that was going to happen. It'll be Stade de France for this. And even the Formula One Grand Prix, that's been cancelled in Russia as well. That's not going to take place there. So you can certainly see this domino effect of people falling into line and saying, listen, they've invaded the Ukraine, and everybody's thoughts are with the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, I thought we all thought that was going to happen, you know, and they've acted very, very quickly, which is good. They haven't dragged their heels on it at all, and quite rightly so. There are more important things going on than football just now, and you've got to make these decisions and move on.
Yep, absolutely. So it'll go to Paris, right move?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, it's something obviously we're not too involved in, but you got to think about the Ukrainians all over the world that are worried, you know, about what's happening in their own homeland. You know, seeing David Moyes talk about, you know, Yarmolenko getting a few days off because obviously it's affected him, and Zinchenko at Man City. So worrying times, but in a football perspective, a sensible decision from UEFA.
Yeah, and I'm going to read this one out, Charlie. Steve McMillan says, great show, gents, which is very kind of you to say that, Stephen. And he says, even better to see Charlie back. So
thank you very much.
That's fantastic, Stephen. A big third cousin.
I'm going to read that one up there.
Yeah, third cousin or second.
Read the next one at the top.
The one up above it.
What's that
From
one?
Peter King.
Hold on a second to see. Is there any chance? Listen, I'm trying to boost his confidence, and you've just Peter King has just said Charlie's going down.
For what point?
Is there any chance?
He's got a point.
I know, but I'm trying to lift his confidence,
Right, sorry,
and you've just
Charlie.
slaughtered them. Anyway.
Confidence is high, Peter.
Sorry?
My confidence is high. Don't
Yeah,
worry about
absolutely. Superb. Listen, and on that point, I will get to it in a minute. Hang fire. I've got that question coming, chat. By the way, over and above the Champions League, Man United have terminated their sponsorship deal with the Russian airline Aeroflot. I think a lot of people, I wonder what the Champions League will do with Gazprom.
I heard they're trying to pull out as well, aren't they, UEFA, and Schalke have pulled out the shirt sponsor, so they changed it. So it's big implications, and the clubs are trying to deal with. You know, sort of say Man United, 40 million. It's a big hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, politics and sport, sadly, it does mix, and especially in times like this at the moment. It's very difficult to watch the news without having a real look towards the Ukrainian people and feeling great sorrow for them at the moment, and hopefully support as well. Okay, we're now on to the Scottish Premiership fixtures over the weekend. We'll talk about Rangers and Celtic on the Sunday, but there's big games on the Saturday as well. There's a New Firm derby. I say that because basically here are all the fixtures that we're going to talk about, and there's Aberdeen, Dundee United, Dundee against Livingston, we'll get Charlie's thoughts, Ross County, St Johnstone, St Mirren against Hearts, Hibs against Celtic, and Rangers against Motherwell. So Aberdeen against Dundee United, we have mentioned that because I thought I'd get the I thought I'd just quickly send away for this. There was only 100 of these specials coming out, Tam, and it's the dawn, it's the actual programme for that day, because today the Sir Alex Ferguson statue was unveiled. Sir Alex was there. It was an emotional day, lots of people, and there is the statue. It's absolutely fantastic. Familiar pose when Aberdeen were trouncing everybody in front of them.
Yeah, just right. Where is that in the stadium? I'm trying to think. We were talking about it yesterday.
The main stand, yep.
Yeah,
No, it's behind the goal.
Behind the goal.
I think it's at the. Is it not the Dick Donald stand towards the beach?
So as you walk at the tunnels up on the left-hand
Yeah.
side, just hope they can move it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
No, I think it's going out. I think that was just the unveiling.
Oh, right.
You know, just in case anybody knocked.
We don't have to worry about any of the Aberdeen strikers. No chance of hitting that. It's
Yeah.
behind the goal.
Moron, isn't he? Honestly, we're trying to talk positively about them, and you've just leathered them. Anyway, it's a fabulous programme, and I think everybody will be quite emotional. You know, and great to see Sir Alex is going to be there tomorrow as well.
Oh, it's wonderful, you know, the history of that team and him and that era, you know, not just European football, but club football as well. I mean, that's what the Aberdeen supporters have been hanging on to for a long, long time. They keep thinking they're going to get back there, which is going to be very, very difficult. But the older supporters will remember all these fantastic games they used to have in Europe, and quite rightly so.
8.5 years, 20 odd years at Man United. He's got a stand named after him, a statue at Aberdeen. Just an absolute legend there.
Yeah,
you know, and the big thing as well, how well he's looking at the moment as well. You know, for obviously previous problems he had over the last couple of years, a few years ago, but thought he looked really well and spoke really well, which he always does.
Yeah, absolutely, it'll be great. And I suspect if it's not going according to plan, Ruffy, Fergie will come down from the stand, push Jim Goodwin out of the way, and just absolutely start rollicking them all.
I saw somebody posted a clip of when he was at Man United. He was doing an interview with the media. Have you seen that one where he just tells them all to shut up? You're not getting in next week.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You shut your face.
Yeah. I have to tell you,
Fergie time tomorrow as well.
I was going to say to you, I have actually been privy to more than a few press conferences down at United where, you know, he would leather the written press, Charlie. He didn't hang about. I mean, I seem to remember the Custis boys who used to give him pelters.
Neil Custis?
Yeah, but Fergie just slaughtered them. He was unbelievable.
I know that one you're talking about. You just went, you won't be here next week, see you later, get him out. And it's just, but that's the respect that he demanded there.
Yeah. It's a bit like Gabriel Antoniazzi with Big Ange now, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Gabriel's getting every single press conference.
Here it's not getting any better, I know. Well, it's improved a little bit, that wee hat he had on.
Big Ange's got him in toast.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing about it as well, which you've got to bear in mind, is, you know, managers are like that. Sometimes there are journalists who maybe don't grasp a bit of respect in certain things and put across a question a certain way. There are sometimes you've got to be ruthless with managers who just try and deflect away from not telling you something that you know is happening. But we've all, I'll tell you one thing, Ruffy, I've had some short shrift from Fergie, and you know, unless you come back at him, he could leather you right out into left field.
Yeah, you listen to some of the stories for the Aberdeen boys, it's hilarious. You know, that long corridor they had, and seemingly if they played again on a Saturday, and this particular player wasn't playing, and the Monday Fergie would be sitting in his office and there'd be a chap at the door, and Fergie would just say, "Come in, Frank." Frank McDougall. He'd be chapping his door every Monday. He didn't even know who was outside, he just knew, oh, here he comes.
My favourite one with all the guys, and I'm lucky enough to be in Archie Knox's company with about 4 or 5 of them, and they were round the table howling with laughter, Tam, because Mark McGee and Alex McLeish had just nipped round the corner to the shop to get some sweeties for the journey down from Aberdeen down into the Central Belt. And Fergie said, "Are they here? No, go." And Fergie just drove away without McLeish and McGee. And you think that's just unthinkable. And McLeish and McGee get into the car and managed to follow the bus down to a certain place. And they stood there and he drove past them again. So they eventually met him at the ground. And then they got on the bus and they left their car there, and Fergie took them all the way back up to Aberdeen to get a train down to get the car that they'd left. I mean,
Roy Keane was that man.
Oh, it's just brilliant, isn't it?
That's brilliant, but demand respect for your players, you know, don't be late, and you know, that's the way he was.
Absolutely. Aberdeen against Dundee United. I've got Aberdeen to win 2-1, Ruffy.
I've got 2-1 as well.
Charlie?
I'll go classic draw.
Draw.
One each.
Okay. Of course, Jim Goodwin himself mentioned yesterday that he was going to try and just suck up any advice he could get from Fergie, but he did admit ahead of this game that he wants to be his own man.
You know, once the St Mirren thing got finalised with Stephen Robinson. Myself and Scott spoke again, and he assured me that his mind is now fully focused on being a player and being a really important player between now and the end of the season. And then we'll assess the situation again in the summer. But I think that honesty and that transparency is vital.
Yeah, Jim Goodwin there just basically saying that he wants Scott Brown to concentrate on the football. He's just putting his marker down with everybody. He's in control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know what involved with the coaching with Scott, whether he's doing other things away from what he's doing during the day, and maybe he's doing him a favour, or maybe he's just, as you say, he's just saying, right, I want you on the park, I want you 100% in the park, I don't want you thinking about anything else, because there's so much at stake here.
Yep, okay. Dundee against Livingston. Suddenly, Charlie, there's, you're back at it, and I've got to ask you, we have tremendous sympathy for James.
Yeah.
It was a tough call for Dundee to make that change. Were the players surprised?
Oh, massively. Got a text, call 10 minutes before it was going to come out. We were very surprised. We'd won back-to-back games, but John obviously felt that needed a change, and they've made the change, and we'll see how it goes. He's a young manager. It gave me the opportunity to come back to a club that I supported all my life, and a few things happened off the pitch that he supported me incredibly well for. As a young manager, to deal with the situations that I had was brilliant, and I'm forever grateful for him, and I just hope that he'll be back soon, probably in the summer, and he's still got a lot to learn as a manager, but he'll definitely be out back in there and giving it his all, because he's got the potential, to be a very, very good manager.
Yeah, did you see those signs that you think
I did.
Some club and some chairman will look and say he's got something?
Yeah, he's got promotion in the CV. No many managers have got that. So he'll get the opportunity, and he'll learn from the mistakes that he made. He was in the club 8 years, from player to youth coach to caretaker to being a manager. He'll make mistakes, he knows that, but he'll learn from that. He'll look at himself in the mirror and he'll come back, he'll dust himself down, and he'll come again, and probably in the summer when jobs become available, and I think you'll get an opportunity, and it'd be great to see him back in, because let's say I owe him a lot, and he's somebody that I can call a friend, not just a manager, but also can call him a friend now.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to ask you is, so suddenly there's the change, and Mark McGee comes in. Now, I know Mark very well. He's an infectious character. He's got a different style to James, and he's an experienced man. And he also, on his CV, has got a tremendous amount of success, despite some of the disappointments throughout his career. But that's the life of a manager. What do you make of him?
Yeah, well, he done good jobs at Motherwell and other teams. So it's he's got the experience there, and obviously Simon's coming in that not many people know about, working with younger players, developing younger players. We've got a few younger players now that need developing, coached, and set on a pathway. So that he'll do that, but it's they've got to try and get a way of playing and a plan for the team to stop conceding goals, because we've conceded too many goals all season. And if we can get that, we know we've got quality players in the forward area that can cause team problems. And tomorrow's going to be a tough game. I like Davey a lot. I think the way he sets up his team, hard to beat, and they've got quality in that team. And it'll be a hard game for us. But we are at home, so we want to try and take the game to Livingston.
Yeah, and just on that, the last point on this, suddenly you're in a battle, but suddenly teams around you, Ross County setback at Easter Road, but St Johnstone seem to have the bit between their teeth.
Yeah, but also we could have been. People were saying last week or 2 weeks ago, going to Hearts, and we wouldn't get a win. We ended up winning there, and we're going above St Johnstone. So it's listen, we're in a relegation battle. We know that. It's time to roll our sleeves up. There's plenty of games to go, and if we can get a win tomorrow, game in hand, you're going to bring other teams into it. So the more teams we get involved from now to the end of the season, until the split, then great. And we've got enough quality in that dressing room that no one can hurt teams that we come up against.
Yeah, you fit?
Yes, fit and available. I had a bit of a back spasm last week at Celtic Park, and now fit and available for tomorrow. So we'll look
you had a
forward
wee
to it.
chat with the manager?
Not really, no. Just get on with my business and try and help the team get up the league.
Yeah, a lot of positive stuff from Charlie there on that. So Rangers, Dundee against Livingston. I've gone 4-0 Livingston. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think
I've gone.
It's good to be back. Yeah.
I've gone Dundee 2-1 actually. I actually think they can do it.
I don't.
No?
I think Livingston will beat them.
Yeah?
I think Livingston are underrated. I think they're a difficult team to beat. I think if they go in front, I think Dundee will find it very difficult to break them down, but that's just my opinion. I actually hope Dundee win. I hope Dundee stay up. I'm an ex-Dundee player. But tomorrow, I think that'll be a tough game. I think Livingston are a good side.
Yeah. Ruffy, Mark, I don't know, but I like Mark at Motherwell. I thought he was a great coach. Leicester and Wolves, he had a good CV and something about him.
There is something about him, but I think it's up to the players. I think the players have got to take something at Parkhead. They've got to take something out of that performance. Charlie's right, they can score goals. They've just got to stop letting them in. When I picked Charlie up the day, I was one each. And the time I got here, I've got Dundee 2-1 now.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing about it.
I was looking at that team.
To be fair, that tells me that Charlie's letting him borrow something in his house, or he's got him a gig somewhere. It's the only thing. If you do something for the man, he changes his opinion. Anyway, fingers crossed for tomorrow. Charlie's set it up brilliantly. How do you think it's going to go? Don't forget, you can hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Spread the word. Share the word that we are here. We're exclusively on the YouTube channel now, Monday to Friday, and there's lots of unique content as well. People picking the best players that they played with. Have you done yours yet?
No, I'm going to have to do it.
You need your finger out, by the way, so we can get your best 11 that you played with. I think you might be able to give Ruffy a run for his money for the best 11.
Oh, particularly the players he's played with down in England, yeah, most definitely.
It'll be great.
Rangers, many Rangers players, do you think might be in it? Just a wee teaser.
Yeah,
a couple.
Yeah, couple.
Two.
Couple.
Yeah, okay. So there you are. Well worth
Nuno
watching.
Capucho, did you play with him?
Probably Nuno Capucho.
Yeah, he won't be in it. Anyway, let's move on. Ross County.
Like tonight out, by the way.
Ross County. Oh, there you go.
I used to see him all the time.
Yeah.
I like tonight out.
Emerson. Yeah.
Emerson and Capucho, they were
loved the night out.
Steve's, I used to see them all the time.
Yeah, it's funny actually. It's amazing how some players.
on the knocked.
Yeah, it's amazing how I love that.
Trash.
Yeah, it's amazing how some players, Ruffy, you just, if you were out at nightclubs, you always, every opening of every nightclub, I always used to walk in and there was Reggie Blinker at the end of it. And I used to look at Reggie and he'd just howl with laughter. He was a great lad.
I remember being up in the Sav.
Oh yeah,
they go with Sav with Maka. We were at Celtic.
Was that a Thursday night?
Yeah, Thursday. No, it wasn't a Thursday. And we were in, and it was just the usual Sav. And I went into the toilet, and I'm standing in the toilet, and there was two boys, and a couple of urinals along, and one of them said, "I see that Maka and Ruff's in here. If I catch that Ruff, he's getting it." I've never left the toilet since quite well, and in the stairs, and out the road.
With a big scaredy cat. Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
With the boys' butt.
Absolutely fantastic. I knew we'd managed to get off football completely. Well done, Ruffy. Ross County, St Johnstone. Listen, St Johnstone suddenly changed the team about. He's got something from them. There's a wee spark about them at the moment. Callum Davison's saying, no, we don't even want to finish 11th, never mind bottom.
I think it's nice for people to see it, but for me it's about, I don't want to finish 11th either. So it's second bottom, don't really want to be there. I want to win as many games and get points, and if we can play like we did on Saturday against Hearts, then from that to the rest of the season I'll be quite happy.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because, it's St Johnstone 23, Dundee on 21 points, so this is going to go one way then the other.
Yeah, you look at Ross County, I think 6 ahead, and we've got a couple of games in the next, play Livingston at home, Hibs at home, and then we play Motherwell away, so and St Mirren. So 4 games that we have to probably win majority of them to get up the league. Yeah,
just one wee positive note. I think we're talking about the changes in the St Johnstone side. I was a big fan. Ruffy will tell you when Ali Crawford was playing for Hamilton Accies. He's come back and suddenly the manager seems to be getting the best out of him.
He's a good player. I always liked him at Hamilton Accies, and I went down south, Doncaster, and done well down there. So I think he's got a good engine. He can get up behind, go beyond the strikers, got a goal on him. I remember him scoring a cracking goal at Ibrox, first game of the season, when Hamilton drew there. So no, he's a very good player. And Callum Davidson's, they signed a lot of players in the window, and they seems to have transformed they're scoring goals now as well, which I think is important. So no, they look as if I thought they were doomed at one point, but they've had a wee lift since the window.
Yep, it's going to be nip and tuck at the bottom end of it. Ross County against St Johnstone. Ross County, Malky was raging last week when I spoke to him. Wasn't happy with the goal, the first goal that Hibs got, but it was in the end 2 moments of magic from Jake Doyle-Hayes. So I'm looking at Ross County, St Johnstone. I can't separate them.
Nah, I'm the same. I think Malky said it was the worst performance for a while for Ross County last week. I can understand that. They were poor against Hibs. I think they ruined Big Malky's 50th birthday party that night. No one to see a draw in this game. I think a draw would suit Ross County. I think keep that gap between them and second bottom.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I think Ross County have been good at home, but their big players never turned up last week, and that's why they didn't win the game. So I'm the same. I'm not getting carried away with St Johnstone. Yeah, they had a good win, but I still think they've got a long way to go. So I'm sitting on the fence in this one as well. I think I went 1 each.
Yeah, Chaz?
Well, depends. Well, we win, then you'd look at if we win and St Johnstone win, it probably brings Ross County back into it. So yeah, as long as we win, St Johnstone.
Okay, we catch your drift on that one, Charlie. Anyway, as I struggle for breath, we move on from Ross County St Johnstone to St Mirren against Hearts. Now, Stephen Robinson at St Mirren, he'll be trying to put his own stamp on it now that Jim Goodwin is away, and he's also well aware of what Hearts are going to offer.
Listen, Mark was fantastic with me. You don't get the amount of games Mark got in football without having a brilliant knowledge and being a brilliant man manager. So, I owe Mark a lot, but I'm hoping to make 3 points off him tomorrow night. I know that, but looking forward to seeing him.
Well appreciative of his relationship with Robbie Nielsen as well. And this one is a tough one to call, Ruffy, because St Mirren, the record of the last 8 games have been brilliant.
Yeah, that is, I've went against that record. I thought Hearts were missing Craig Gordon last week and a couple of other experienced. I think the boys played either. I think if they all come back tomorrow, I don't think it'll be a runaway win. I think it'll be very, very narrow. So I'm going to go for an away win. I think I've went 2-1 Hearts.
Yeah, Charlie?
Yeah, no, it's good to see Stephen back in. I think he's done an excellent job at Motherwell. I think it's a sensible appointment from St Mirren now, trying to progress again, and after Jim leaving. So, yeah, you'd probably see Hearts nicking it.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 Hearts. What about you?
I've got St Mirren to win.
Yeah, okay. Hibs against Celtic, it's an absolute belter. The only thing that's a real uncertainty is it's a long time that Kyogo's been out, Ruffy, and it doesn't look as if he's going to be heading off to any international duty. I think the Japanese manager's been over talking to Ange Postecoglou, and I don't think he's going to be in the next Japanese squad, which begs the question, how long is he going to be out for?
Yeah, I mean, the injury he's got was sort of kept in-house. Nobody was coming out saying 6 to 7 or 8 weeks or whatever. I think they're just keeping it to themselves. We all don't know how bad it is. And he does make a difference to that Celtic team when he goes in there. And maybe they're just trying to save him as well for the big games in the running. And it will be a bonus if he doesn't get picked to go and play for his country. Yeah,
that's a good point actually that Jockey's just said. Has Tam Cowan gave you the cold? I just wonder, Ruffy, if he's given us a cold, I'll be raging, by the way. Yeah. Would you be able to sub in for some of the work that we've got over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah,
I know you're
probably,
quite free.
Yeah, probably not at the same price, but I'm quite happy and available.
So old mates saying these looking after each other.
He's touring.
Yeah. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to look at you on this question because it's not an easy one. Right now, Hibs manager Sean Maloney saying your man Ryan Porteous will play. There's been a few things. Obviously, the off-field misdemeanour is going to be closely looked at. They're going to have a chat with them. Footballers in misbehaviour, not exactly something that is any great news.
Yeah, it's something that obviously I never done at Hibs. I was a complete professional at the club, but some people just let themselves down sometimes.
Yes.
But I'm sure the club will have a word with Ryan and remind him of his responsibilities to the club and to behave himself. So I'm sure Ryan will play. He's been excellent form for Hibs. But it's a very difficult game. I think if Hibs can get a point out of that, I think they'll be doing well.
Yeah.
No, I think the players that were left out will be put back in again. I know there were 2 fantastic goals last week for Hibs, but I still think Celtic will go there and grind out a result. I think I've went 2-0.
Yeah, I've got Celtic to win it 3-1. I think they will highlight the fact that they'd made, a decision. Goodbye to the conference, all guns blazing at Easter Road, and I wasn't that enamoured with Hibs in the first half last week, Charlie. I just think Celtic will have too much for them.
Yeah, they huffed and puffed a wee bit last week against us at home, and but they got the job done. And I expect, like I said, Angie's made that decision that this is a huge game, 12 o'clock kick-off at Easter Road, tough away ground. We'll make that decision. They've done that, and the boys will come back in. I still expect Celtic to win the game. Yeah.
Rangers against Motherwell on this Sunday as well. So again, they've put that much energy into the Dortmund game. Do you anticipate any fallout from it against Motherwell?
No, not at home. I think the place will be buzzing as it was the other night. Players will come out, full of confidence, and it doesn't matter who he puts in there. If you rest 2 or 3, I think they're still strong enough to go out there at home. If it had been an away game, I might have maybe thought something might have happened, but not at home. I think I won that comfortably. I'm going to go 3-0 Rangers.
Yeah, I'm just looking, Tam. I've got Rangers to win 3-0 as well.
I've got Rangers 2-1. I think it'll be tough to the high of last night. That crowd, I don't think there'll be the same atmosphere, in the stadium. I think it'll be tough. I think Motherwell are quite stuffy, quite hard to beat. I still think Rangers will win the game, but I think it'll be narrow. I think they'll maybe win it late. I'll go for 2-1 to Rangers.
Yeah, I tell you, if you're looking for players who really want to step up to the plate, Charlie, Kevin Van Veen is taking an injection for a shoulder injury. I mean, he played through the pain barrier last week. He's willing to do it again for Graham Alexander. I mean, that's what you want. You want your players to actually be wanting to play.
He's sympathy, man.
Did he do that when he ragdolled Declan Gallagher for the goal?
Listen. That's only come out because his manager said that. It happens every week to players.
Yeah.
Players play through the pain barrier week in, week out, and it's not.
You ever took an injection to play, Charlie?
Aye.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of people have done that down through the years, to their detriment, Ruffy.
Yeah, there's one particular player that I won't mention who did everything for the club because we were in a sticky position, and at the end of the season the club let him go. I mean, it was absolute. I just couldn't get my head round that the player had put everything, his whole career on the line.
This is when you were playing?
Yeah, when I was playing at Hibs, and he never played again because of the cortisone injections he was taking. They damaged whatever he was getting injected, and I thought he was let down badly by the club, and he's probably not the first one.
Yeah.
And probably other guys have done it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a normal thing. But of course, desire as well. Okay, Charlie's done it himself and he's not having it. So Van Veen's just playing anyway. But I've got Rangers to win. Have you got Rangers to win comfortably?
Yeah, no, I think so. They can make a couple of changes, and Davis and people that can come in, good quality to come off the bench.
Yeah. Just a wee quick one, Tam, which is, I hope this happens. The Ukrainian head coach, Alexander Petrakov, has said that the playoff with Scotland will go ahead. I mean, he's going to get his players together. I mean, it would be great. It's obviously, it's going to be somewhere else if indeed he can pull it off. But it just shows you the desire, defiance, solidarity, everything you want. He wants Ukraine to be able to play in that playoff, even though we don't know how things are going to develop in that country.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. I think, if it's still the way it is just now, I don't think the game will go ahead. If there's maybe a back down from Russia or whatever, then possibly. But you're looking at the Klitschko's going out and fighting, and some of the players talking about they want to go out and fight for the country and all that. So I think football's got to take a back seat at the minute. And I don't think
suspended the Ukrainian league, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's the emotion of the players. It's not just the game. It's the emotion surrounding the whole families and what's going on. And some of the pictures that we've seen is incredible. But for Scotland to get that game on, it would be incredible. But no, there's more than football at the moment. And we said it before. We've got to think about what's going on in Ukraine, because a good nation. They've produced some top players over the years, and hopefully it can get sorted.
Yeah, well, a really good story in football this weekend, Ruffy, is Christian Eriksen is going to make his Brentford debut. This is fantastic. I think it's something like 8 months after that scene that everybody witnessed with, I think, a moment of fear, wondering whether he was going to be okay, and the relief when you got the news that he was okay, his life had been saved. And then suddenly, 8 months on, I think he's got some kind of tracker, pacemaker in his heart, and he's done all the training, and the manager's going to put him in there.
Yeah, well, when the football's been in you for your whole life, it's something very difficult to walk away from. That was an incredible injury he had, and the first thing I think he's got to think about is his wife and family.
Yeah.
So he's probably had conversations with them, and they're quite happy for him to get back in. And obviously the doctors and everything will be monitoring everything. So it's a brave move for him, and I think we all hope it goes well for him because he's a fabulous player.
Yeah, Brentford against Newcastle. If he comes on as a substitute, I don't think there'll be a dry eye in the house. You'll get a standing ovation from both sets of fans, I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feared for his life, never mind his career. It was a horrendous incident to witness. He's came back from it, he's got himself fit again, obviously fitted with a pacemaker to help his heart and stuff. So, and that is a big game for both clubs actually. Brentford Newcastle is a huge game. Brentford are now in a relegation battle as well, so if he came on and scored the winner, it'd be a fairy tale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not forget he's a top drawer player, Charlie.
He's a special player. Just seeing him at Tottenham for many years under Pochettino, he was magnificent, and he scored a hat-trick against, was it Ajax?
Yeah.
In the Champions League?
Yep.
To get him to the final, so he's a top player. Lucky enough to play against them a couple of times.
Yeah, okay. Here's how the fixtures look in the English Premier League on the Saturday, and you've got of course Leeds United against Tottenham, and Bielsa is under a fair bit of pressure. Brentford Newcastle, Brighton and Hove Albion against Aston Villa, and you've also got Crystal Palace against Burnley, Man United against Watford, Everton against Man City, and West Ham against Wolves on the Sunday. And on the Sunday, a small matter of Chelsea against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. Liverpool, dare I say it, Charlie, it's starting to look really good for Jurgen Klopp.
Talk about a title race in the Premier League, it's incredible. But great memories for me. I'm fortunate enough to win that trophy when I was at Liverpool, and I'll be hopefully watching the match. And since he's come in the door, he's been phenomenal at Liverpool, and the trophies he's won and the standards he set. And it wouldn't surprise me if they went on and win it again on Sunday.
Everybody's looking, Charlie, not only to the cup final here, but they're now looking and saying, okay, Etihad, Man City, the date is...
It's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker, and that's the same. It's the same Scotland title race. They took the big two. They've been the big two for the last few years. We thought Chelsea might have got close with signing Lukaku, but nowhere near it. And the big two will come down to probably that game. And what happens, because at one point Man City were 12 points clear. Everybody thought they'd won it, but they've pulled it back, and it'll be a cracker.
Yeah, Charlie, I've got to ask you, there's times when we want you to be really honest. Have you ever been in a game where you've only taken 7 touches of the ball? Nah,
probably not. How Lukaku? Yeah. maybe it's coming on a sub, but no. But it wasn't great for him, was it?
No, when you're playing for Chelsea. I mean, if you're playing for, it's probably games I've played for Hibs against Rangers or Celtic at Parkhead, and they've battered us, and they've probably had about that. But
in 90 minutes?
If you're playing for Chelsea,
and
you're a striker, you can't.
What time did he come on it?
He played the whole game.
The whole
90 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
7 touches he had, and one of them was a kick-off.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what a kick-off.
It was,
I'm going for Liverpool to win it.
I fancy Liverpool strongly.
Ruffy?
1-0.
To who?
Probably Liverpool.
Thank God for that, Probably Liverpool. There you are.
No, but Chelsea just...
Yeah.
They go out there, just not to get beat, not to lose goals, and sometimes they spoil the game. I know.
Everybody does that.
No, but sometimes they spoil it. Sometimes they really spoil a cup final instead of 2 teams. I know, but if they just came out and make a game of it, I would say.
Won the Champions League last year.
I know, but for me, there's something about them. I'd rather Liverpool winning than Chelsea winning. Put it that way.
Yeah, and
just so you can get an argument off him.
Yeah, and just out of curiosity, what's your prediction then?
1-0
Liverpool.
Yes.
Right. okay. Regardless of whether they're spoiling it or
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2. Oof, that'll be a belter. Anyway, as far as we're concerned in here, we're certainly looking forward to the weekend's football. Good luck to Charlie. Hopefully playing there for Dundee, strutting his stuff and getting Dundee a crucial win. No disrespect to the opposition. And of course, if you get a chance, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll get all the unique notifications of our videos. We've got Dream Teams on there, one-to-ones, Gordon Strachan. Pat Nevin's going to be released next week. Great chat with Pat about his career, not only as a player, but as a chief executive at Motherwell as well. And he's never shirks a question. There's some really hard-hitting points that Pat put across in the interview. And it's well worth listening to. And of course, you've got a great love of music as well. So if you're a person who loves football and music, you're going to enjoy Pat Nevin. Thanks to Charlie. Great to see him back with us. We'll be back with us next Wednesday as well. Thanks to Ruffy and to Tam. From myself, Peter Martin. Thank you for watching.
Hurry up and get your train.
5:40.